guys, welcome back, and I think this is the first video for me in 2022. So happy New Year! I know it's a little bit late, but yeah, been very busy as per usual. It's nothing new, but I'm going to try to get caught up on making some videos because I've got a whole stack of them that I want to get into, and a ton of stuff that I've recorded over the last few years that some of the stuff I can show now, and I want to put it together in a video. I figure if I make a video about it, I'll make myself somewhat accountable, because I am notorious for starting things and then getting too busy and then leaving them in the dust and then coming back to them way later. To me, it doesn't feel that long, but a lot of times people are like, man, you haven't worked on this project in forever. What happened to that? I'm like, oh yeah, when was the last time I worked on that? And I'll go look, and it's been like 4 or 5 years. Not good. So that starts the thing with something I'm going to show here, but I made a whole giant list of stuff that I kind of want to chat about. So I'm going to stick this down here. This video is going to be probably kind of long, sort of freeform. Maybe I'll edit it. I don't know. But yeah, speaking of old projects that I'm bringing back up, years ago, 2017, I started to build a set of Novos Stormtrooper armor, and I stopped. And I was going to have a whole playlist with the build process. Now, I put this off for a reason. I didn't just forget about it. I didn't abandon it. But back in 2017, I'll get into this when I do the build. I'll talk specifically about this. But let's just say I had problems with the Novos, and I did not want to promote their product on my channel by building some of their stuff. I didn't want to do something and potentially make it look appealing to people and then want to buy more stuff from this company who's, I don't know, for lack of better words, they're just shady. It's all get out. But I don't think they're selling Star Wars stuff anymore. I could be wrong. I mean, they may be selling some. I don't think they're licensed to do new stuff, so at this point I don't care. In 2020, beginning of 2020, I went to Tom Spina's shop in New York. He had, for a customer, put one of these Stormtrooper costumes onto display. It looked really good. It was like one of the best looking, just static Stormtrooper displays I've seen. Just so it looked very natural, and really I was like, man, I have one of those kits. I have all the stuff here. I could build that. I should just get this damn thing built and put it on display. So I've got a mannequin for it that I'm going to custom cut and make it just like a nice display Stormtrooper that I can wear if I want to, but it's going to pretty much live on the display. So I've got the armor. It's uncut. It's basically in the state that I left it in 2017. I figured before I did this, I would scan these things because I got that new scanner. In my last video, I had a new scanner. And I am going to be doing a review on that. I've been scanning some things, and I did the entire Stormtrooper suit. See all these stickers on the inside just to help the scanner kind of like keep its place. And I'll get into these stickers too, because this is sort of like a thing I kind of came up with based on those little dot stickers that people that do scanning use all the time, and they're surprisingly expensive. So I was like, I'm going to try these like label stickers and see how they work. They work really great. I'll do a whole video on these, and I was going to do like a long video about that scanner, which I probably still will do, but I think I'm going to do multiple videos as I scan different types of items, because there's a lot of settings in there that I want to go over. It's this scanner here. It's the RevoPoint POP scanner. They've got a POP 2 now, which is 3 times the resolution of this one, but this one is pretty good. It's doing a good job for me, and now that I've figured out like the some of the technique to use it, it's become very consistent. So I've had very good luck with the scans with this now. My first couple days with it were slightly frustrating, but it's because I didn't understand something. It's my own fault. And once I figured that out, I was like, oh, and then all my scans except for like 2 worked on the first try really great. So yeah, so anyway, I'll be coming back to this. I'll probably actually do a video just on scanning these Stormtrooper parts, because I did basically the whole suit minus the helmet, and maybe I didn't do the belt, a couple other little small pieces, but basically the whole suit. And I'll show a little clip here what it looks like in ZBrush. One of the coolest things with this scanner is that all the scale comes in really accurate. So all these pieces that I've scanned, these piles and piles of parts, I brought them all into ZBrush, and they all come in perfectly scaled, beautiful. I love it. So that is really good. That's one of my favorite things about it. I had someone write me about like, well, why don't you do photogrammetry? Some photogrammetry programs can figure out the scale to a reasonable degree, but most of the ones I've experimented with are a little, they just kind of make the object. I don't know what scale it comes in, it just sort of guesses it. So, you know, I've always had to scale things to correct them a little bit, but these came out really good, so that is a big bonus. Oh yeah, so with the scanner, another thing that put it on hold is when you scan with this, you can put your phone here, like so, and you use your phone as your monitor, and everything's just going through the phone, so you're not tethered down to a computer or anything. It just goes through the phone, which is awesome. And my first initial scans, I was doing that way, as opposed to using the computer to do the scans. I think I did like one on the computer, and then I started using the phone. And it was working really, really great, having the mobility and everything. And like the next day after I started scanning, I went on a bike ride, and this YouTuber named Phil Guyman, who is a cyclist, I follow him. I enjoy watching his videos. As a cyclist, I enjoy his videos. He was riding in the same area that I was going to ride, and I was like, oh, I could meet up with him. And I wrote him, and I said, hey, I'm in the same area. Where are you guys riding? And he told me where the loop they're doing. He said, come over this way and ride reverse the loop, and you'll find us. So I was like, cool. And I rode over the mountain, because I was on one side of Griffith Park, and I was riding to the other side. I started screaming down the hill, going super fast. And my phone was in my back pocket here. And the jersey that I was wearing has two pockets, like one on top of the other. So there's one deep pocket, and there's like a shallower pocket. And when I put my phone back, I was trying to put it in the deeper pocket so it goes all the way in. But I actually missed the deep pocket, put it in the shallower pocket. So it was only like that far in. And when I hit a bump, it went flying out. And I didn't realize it for a few minutes. I rode down and I stopped somewhere. It's a beautiful view. I was like, oh, I can take a picture. I went to go get my phone. Phone was gone. This is the second time this has happened. First time it popped out of my pocket. It was 4 miles away. 4 miles from when I discovered that I was missing it. I was like, oh my God, my phone. I rode all the way back around. Also in Griffith Park. Rode all the way back around the park. Literally on the opposite side of the park. And my phone was just sitting out there on the curb. Just sitting in the sun. Still there. Holy cow. So, and that time it fell out. Nothing happened. This time it fell out and the screen got broken. So I can turn the screen on with one of the buttons. But it doesn't react to my fingers at all. So I couldn't use it with the scanner. I couldn't do anything. So that was a long story why I couldn't do the scanner. So another thing that stinks is I love this phone. This is the Samsung Galaxy S10. I love this phone. It's 3 years old, I think. I think it's 3 years old. And the battery outlasts my wife's new iPhone by 3 hours still. It's always worked really, really great. And like 2 or 3 days before I broke it, I was thinking, man, this phone has just worked so well for so long. I love it. I was just thinking that. And then I broke it, and I was super bummed. So I was like, well, I guess it's time to get a new phone. I go on Verizon, and I look, and it's like, okay, they've got the Samsung, whatever the new Galaxy is. It's got good reviews. It's supposed to be a good phone, but the new one comes out in a month. So I don't want to get their new, like a new phone, and then 1 month away, the next version comes out. So I was like, okay, guess I'll wait on this. And I ended up just getting another one of these because this phone, the screen replacement is particularly expensive. The actual, just the screen alone is like over $200. So to get it replaced, it's gonna be like $280 to get the screen fixed. I'm like, oh, that's a bit steep. So to get a replacement phone, basically a brand new one of these phones, is a few years old, was cheaper than getting the screen replaced. So I just got another one of these, and I love it. So probably use that for a while. Anyway, that was a little bit long-winded, but oh yeah, I'm going to make a video showing how I was able to get into my phone to be able to use it sometimes because the screen doesn't work, so I can't open the home screen, I can't get into the phone. So I learned a method that worked great. I'm going to make its own little video just to help people out and post that soon. I also have been waiting on this, which I don't want to hold it still too long. Maybe there's some sensitive information here, but my friend Jordan sent this to me a long time ago. And I've just been waiting for a day to put it together. That's going to be a surprise. But I'm going to unbox it here pretty soon for its own video. And you can see what it is. And that should be a fun little build. Last year, I also got this DJI Mini 2 drone. Little guy. I did an unboxing video of this thing. And I never posted it for some reason. I can't remember why. I think I wanted to edit something in it. I never did it. I don't know if it's worth uploading now, but that drone's really cool, and I've been using it a ton. So maybe I'll just do some kind of like long-term review on that because I've had it for months now. I'll use it as much as I can. It's very easy to carry with me, much easier than my Phantom 4 that I had before that. So I'd like to do some video on that. So another thing that is new is that I got a Peopoly Phenom printer, which I got used, but it's in really, really good shape. Basically looks brand new, works perfectly, came with an extra screen. So if you know these kind of printers, when you use them long enough, the screen will wear out, so you have to put a replacement in. It's a consumable part of the printer. Came with a brand new screen, unopened. The existing screen works perfectly. Can't find any problems with it at the moment. Came with a bunch of resin, and I got it for about half the price of a new printer, which is great. So I know the Peopoly Phenom isn't the newest thing out right now, but it's a good printer, so very stoked to have one of those because I can print, reasonable sized stuff in resin and get like really, really good parts out of that, which is awesome. And I know I did that video 2 videos ago, is that right? Where I covered those, the impact resistant resin stuff that I was using on the droid hands. Real cool stuff. So I'm going to try to get more of those kind of things made as well. So I'll add that to the list. And right now, right next, you can probably hear it humming away in the background, I am printing some stuff on a Creality Ender 3 that my neighbor gave me randomly. I guess he got it and it was like, he was just getting frustrated with it and didn't feel like taking the time to work on it. So he's just like, I'm going to give it to you. And I was like, all right. So he gave it to me and it works awesome. I had to do some little tiny adjustments, like 40 seconds worth of adjustments, and then the thing worked like great. So it's awesome. It's over here printing away. Now, of all the printers, I have 8 printers now, and I use my Prusa a ton. It's like my filament printer that's like the best detail of my filament printers. It's really, really reliable. And I use a Creality CR10 for big stuff, or stuff I need to print fast. I print on the CR10 S5. And then this Ender is kind of like a good equivalent to the Prusa. It's almost as good. I printed a bunch of stuff recently, which I'll get into soon. I should be able to talk about this stuff that's pretty in the next month, I think. But I printed a bunch of stuff on the Prusa and the Ender at the same time. Just to save time, I needed the quality to be similar. And the quality of the Prusa is slightly better than the quality of the Ender. Like, not noticeable if you look at something, looking at the parts, they look basically the same. But the pieces I was making had to fit over PVC pipe. And I made them, the tolerances were great. On the Prusa, the pieces fit on perfectly. They slid on, like they just fit. They weren't too tight, so you could put the pieces on, but if you let go of them, they wouldn't just slip down the PVC pipe kind of thing. It was like really, really perfect. But on the Ender, they were too tight. Like I had to go sand the inside of the parts just a little bit to make them fit onto the pipe, even though they're all made using the same boolean tool in ZBrush to punch the holes for the pipe. So on the Prusa, they were a little bit better. Anyway, that's a whole video on its own. Both of the printers are, a few years old now, so it's not anything exciting, but it's fun to compare stuff, I think. So yeah, Ender versus the Prusa Mark III. I don't know. Both of those printers are probably things people could find at a reasonable price right now, so maybe it's still worth looking at. I don't know. Tell me what you think about that. And then in the last year, I've been working on a lot of just like TV shows and a few movies and things as a performer, like an actor, I guess. Feels weird to say it. I feel like I do like creature suit stuff and suit work, but I've been getting jobs as like doing background where you just see my face on screen too, which is really weird. There's a bunch of new stuff that I'm excited about that I can't talk about yet, but then one thing that's coming out soon is the series Pam and Tommy, the Pamela Anderson story that's going to come out on Hulu next month. It was just like background stuff, but I made it into the trailer for like 2 little shots. I found myself in the actual trailer for the show that just came out, so that's cool. I don't talk or anything. I'm just like a paparazzi with a camera in this shot. I'll show a picture of it here, but there was a point where they were filming a scene. I don't want to spoil it, but basically there's paparazzi. You can see it in the photo. And all the extras that were paparazzi, we have these cameras, and they're like old school film cameras that have working flashes on them. And my parents were photographers when I was growing up, so I was around cameras my whole life. And I could see these flashes had the one that I had the low low power setting, which uses way less power per each flash, and it charges more quickly. So when you hit the button, it's going to flash almost every time. It doesn't take very long to recharge the flash. Also, I didn't goof around with my camera in between shots. Everybody else was like laughing and snapping off, and I didn't do that at all. Every time in between takes, I would turn the camera, turn the flash off, not use any battery. And then, almost the end of the day, they wanted to get close-ups of these paparazzi, and they're like, who's got a flash that works? Nobody's flashes worked except for mine. So they said, okay, come up here, and had me get right in the camera and go, hey, like this, take photos. And that shot made it into the trailer. It's really fast. I mean, it's literally like 6 frames or something. It's like, boop, it's just extra quick, like a quarter of a second. You see me, but it's like, I'm right there. So that was kind of neat. Maybe I'll do some videos about getting into that kind of, more of that kind of work. It's been really fun. I love doing this, just being on set for anything. So I like doing creature work, obviously, and being a super performer, but just being on set in general, I really enjoy. So trying to incorporate more and more of that. I joined the Screen Actors Guild last year, which is great. And I worked on a few other like TV shows. I did one called Station 19. And it was ridiculous because I filmed 2 days, and one day I was like the neighbors of the fire station. There's this whole thing where it's too hot outside, and they're christening the new fire truck by the neighborhood. People in the neighborhood are going to push the truck inside the fire station, the brand new fire truck. It's like some kind of I don't know what they say, like tradition, I guess, apparently. And then, but they go to do it. The fire truck's too hot because it's like a heat wave in Seattle. That's the end of the show. And so we filmed the outdoor stuff one day because the way the soundstage is set up with the actual fire station set, you can't park a fire truck outside. So they shot it on this big green screen for the outdoor. So the fire truck's in a big parking lot, a big green screen where the fire station would be. And, it had like a little cutaway, so they could push the truck behind the cutaway, look like it was going into the fire station. They can composite it together. And then the next day, they're going to film the shots inside the fire station. So all these like people from outside are going to go into the fire station and get refreshments or whatever. And I came back the next day to shoot, and I'm assuming I'm going to be in the same wardrobe from the day before, and they're like, no, you're going to be a firefighter today. And I was like, but yesterday I was just a neighbor from the fire station, and they're like, no, you're going to be a firefighter. It's like, you sure it's going to be okay? Like, it's fine. I was like, all right. So in the show, which is out now, I can't remember what the episode, it's called like Too Darn Hot or something like that, is the name of the episode of Station 19. You literally see me outside the fire station, and then everybody goes in the fire station, and you see me inside the fire station the very next shot as a firefighter. And I'm talking to the same people that I was walking into the fire station with the day before. It's ridiculous, but it was fun. Anyway, so I've been doing like a lot of that kind of like background work, and I've got a couple of featured parts. Recently, I filmed some stuff in Atlanta in October, which is really fun, but I can't talk about it, what it is yet. But while I was in Atlanta, right by the hotel, there was this Halloween liquidation store. We shot in October, so it was like right before Halloween, like the last week of October. And I was like, oh, I'll go check it out and see what they've got. I mean, I've got, obviously, costumes everywhere, so I'm not in any kind of need for a costume. But I was like, I'll see what they have. And I go in there, and they have like those kind of like pre-bagged costumes that are, they're not super cheap, but they're like $60 or $70 kind of costumes. They're they're okay. They're okay quality. And the guy's like, any costume in the whole place, as soon as I walk in, any costume in the whole place, $20. So I was like, oh, that's kind of a good deal. I should look around just in case, So I look around and I find this goofy werewolf costume. Now it's all squished right now, but it's like rubber mask, werewolf mask, full hood, full cover, right? And then it comes with this shirt, big plaid shirt with, this is fur, and it's hard to see on camera because it's dark. And comes with werewolf gloves that are, basically monster gloves. Which are actually not that bad. And it was $20. So I was like, the gloves alone were worth $20. I can't tell you how many weird little things I get to be part of, and I have some costume, and I wish it had a pair of like monstery hands to wear. So these alone were worth $20. So I got this whole thing. I figure sometime this year I want to upgrade that costume and just take like a cheap Halloween costume and make it cooler. And I think that'd be a fun video to do. So it's on the side. I'm going to keep it out. I'm not going to put it in a box and put it up on the loft or something. I'm going to keep it out where I can get to it so that when I have the urge and the time, I will try to do a video of that because I think that would be pretty fun. Oh, and some of the old projects that I worked on are now public, so I can talk about them. So back in 2019, at the same time when I was doing the Jedi Temple Challenge, building the 83 costume and all the lightsabers for that show, I was working on the movie Malignant, and I painted all of the blade weapons from Malignant, which was really cool. So that movie came out finally, so I can like show those videos. I took a bunch of video behind the scenes because I painted tons of those weapons. I took a bunch of video of the process. It's basically the same process that I used when I was doing the medals for the whip contest. If you guys follow my channel, a lot of people found my channel because of that video, but I used all clad and all that stuff. But I took video of the whole thing, so I figured I'd share that. It's from 2019. And then in 2020, after I banged up my knee, one of the first jobs I got was with Stupid Buddy Studios, who they do Robot Chicken and a whole bunch of other things like animated stuff, but they have a section of their company called Buddy Builds that builds like costumes for shows. And I worked on costumes for the Masked Singer and some masks for the Masked Dancer. So the Masked Singer, I did the baby alien costume. I think it was season 4, and it's just like spaceship little pod thing. It's got this little alien. And Ron Binion built the little alien puppet, but I built the whole pod thing. I'll put that here. But I took a lot of video during that process that I think would be fun to show because it's all metal paint. It looks really cool. Like, I'm proud of like the finish and everything. I think it looked really neat. Built it all here at the house because during all the pandemic stuff, so people were working from home a lot. 2020, I worked on the Masked Dancer also for Stupid Buddy Studios, and I made the masks for the dance partners, which are probably like the people who choreograph the dances with the celebrities. So they have like a bunch of like backup dancers, but one of the backup dancers, the main one, has like these specific masks that all look alike, but they all match the colors and the materials of the people they're dancing with. So I made most of those for that show. I designed the mask and did all that. That was pretty fun, except it wasn't fun. It was actually fun to make the thing, but working on it was a little not the most fun project I've had. But I'm proud of what I made, so that's good, I guess. Oh, so we got to work on Book of Boba Fett. I worked with Dave Ferreira and Michael McMaster, and we built that dealer droid that you can see in the first 2 episodes, which is an RX droid. It looks like Rex that used to fly the Star Tours ride, and that was a really fun build, and way trickier than it seemed. It was a lot of work, so very proud of that. I don't know what I can tell about it yet. I got to check and see, but I can say that I worked on it. Let's see. Last year I worked on Masked Singer Season 6. And maybe I can share that now. I don't know if the episodes are out yet. Also in 2019 for Rancho Obi-Wan, they had this charity auction, and they had these Death Star, like resin cast Death Star things, and people would decorate them, turn them into whatever items. And I made mine into a xenomorph egg, or xenomorph, like, yeah, the eggs that open up in the top. And I took a bunch of video of that, time lapse, but I did it all by hand. I should have just modeled it in 3D, made a top, printed it, been done with the whole thing, but I took way longer, did it out of like sculptable epoxy clay and painted it. It was a big nightmare, but it was cool, looked pretty cool when it was done. It cheated a lot of the detail with paint, so it was pretty low detail, and then I painted in all the detail, and it reads really well. So I was proud of the fact that I was able to cheat all that stuff. So when you look at it, it looks like there's a lot more going on than there really is. So that was good, a little bit of a learning experience and like practicing some techniques that I've seen but I've never really tried. So that was cool. I recently put my full body scan on Thingiverse. So people have been downloading it, printing my head and using it in all kinds of silly ways, which is fun. But it's up there, so if you want a life-size me in your house, or just a life cast, a head cast, that's on there. I actually did a bust for sculpting of my head, but I just cut it here and I smoothed out like where my arms would be and so forth, so you could do like an armature for sculpting on, and I think I'll add that to the Thingiverse link. I'll try to do that today. I'll put the link below, so if you want to download it, you can. I did one version of that bust where I actually have I sculpted an alien head on it too, so that's included in the files. A little silly, but it's there. And back to those old projects, the stuff I built for Jedi Temple Challenge. Look at these holes in my hat. This hat's gonna be, it's pretty fun. Looks like it's on purpose, but it's not. Anyway, my head is bald and it gets cold real easy. So back to the Jedi Temple Challenge stuff that I did in 2019. I would love to do a video showing how the 83 costume assembles, because I came up with some ideas that I thought were pretty unique and worked really nicely, especially the way the shoulders mount. The way the shoulders work and the way the head goes together, I think is really cool. And I've never done any video on that, so probably we'll do a video showing the assembly of 83. I think that would be neat to do. I worked on a couple other masks recently that I have to find out if I can share them or not yet, but I kind of came up with a helmet design that works really, really great. Basically, it's just like a cap. Like the helmet kind of comes like this, and it covers your whole face. And both the designs, 3 of the designs that I did, are based on that concept. One of them's like real sci-fi, like armor looking, and then one's like a monster. But they're all based on the same concept, and I'll go into a whole ZBrush video on that. This sounds totally confusing without the reference, but I got to check and see if I can share this stuff yet. So I don't even. I should have just kept it quiet. Maybe I'll edit this part out. I don't even know. Doing a full update to the RA7 droid. I've got like version 1.5 of his helmet printed. I think I showed that in my last video. I was talking about the scanner, maybe, or the one before. I don't remember. So that's in progress. Also, any of you that are following along with my crazy like knee surgery updates, I've been back on my bike. I posted some videos riding my bike again. I could ride my road bike for a while. I just started riding my mountain bike again. My leg finally flexes enough to ride my mountain bike, which is good. And I started running again on September 13th. And I've been doing, I don't know, maybe like two runs a month. I was trying to do one a week, but it's just kind of spread out. So I had a little while where I was doing about 3 a month, and it kind of tapered off. I'd like to do more, I just haven't had time. But because I barely trained, I thought, you know what would be a good idea? Is if I sign up for a marathon in February. So I'm going to do a marathon on February 5th. Yay! I don't know how it's going to go or if I'll even be able to finish it, but the last run that I did was almost a half marathon. And it went real well. And I kind of went harder than I would if I was going to run a whole marathon. I probably would go pretty easy just so I could make sure that I try to, get through the thing. So I feel mentally like I can do it. So as long as my leg doesn't totally get super painful before the end, then it'll be good. That's just in a few weeks. So I'll try to document that as well. I know it's random as far as content goes, but, this whole channel is my channel. So what I post is stuff that I do, and I don't always do the same things because doing the same things all the time is boring. I don't like to do the same thing all the time. I just want to mix it up day to day as much as possible. But, yeah, so anyway, that was a long list. I feel like saying all the stuff just straightforward, rambly, not so fun. So we try to edit this out a little bit so that it's not totally sucky to watch. Yeah, hopefully I can just keep up and make more consistent videos. I love doing it. Haven't been able to do it in a long time, and I miss it. I miss you guys. Thanks for stopping by. See you kids soon. Bye.